feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright. Echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Good to be back. I sound kind of happy, but I probably shouldn't sound that excited because the news I bring you tonight, as most of you probably already know, there was a press conference a little while ago, but we have a resolution to the Cami missing 19-year-old out of San Antonio. Very, very awful news. Sounds like they have located her body and they're just waiting for a confirmation on it, which is, I don't think the way we wanted it to end. I think we were all sort of hoping she'd run away, was hanging out with like new friends or a new boyfriend. I don't know, just didn't want to be at home and she decided to leave and they would eventually track her down. But the messaging from Sheriff Salazar started getting more and more in a certain direction over, let's say, the last 24 to 48 hours. They started dropping certain themes within their press conferences that they were doing. And unfortunately, I think that's what's led us to where we are today, where they have located a body very, very close to where she was last seen, very close to where she lives, too. I'll bring you that. I'm sure everyone's watched it, but just for posterity's sake, I will play it for you. But hey, good to see you guys. A lot of people in the chat tonight. Good to have you all here. Good to have you all here on what is actually New Year's Eve in Australia. It is New Year's Eve down here today in Melbourne. It's the end of the year. It's the end of the world as you know it here in Australia. So I'll tell you, if the world ends tonight in Australia, I will tell you. And then you guys can try and get out in front of it. You guys can try and, I don't know, get Bruce Willis, get some other people, try and stop it from happening. Maybe Chuck Norris is available, and you guys can stop whatever threat is happening to the world at midnight. I don't know, get Laurie Vallow, bust her out of prison, realize she's mental and put her back in prison, and then be like, hey, whose dumb idea was that? And then just keep going with Bruce Willis and Chuck Norris and try and figure out what the threat to the world is. But before we do that, before we go to the end of the world, we have this very sad story, Bexar County in Texas. And I'll play this little bit of the press conference. It's up here. Here we go.
Says it's still too early to tell if the body is Camila. Really, the medical examiner is going to make the final ruling on that. That could take a few days or maybe even a week. But at this point, the sheriff said that he does not suspect foul play. Let's listen to what he had to say about 20 minutes ago.
Actually, this afternoon, made a conscious decision to go back to an area that had already been checked. But due to tall grass, we felt that there would be a benefit to checking the area once again. And as I mentioned, probably about 10 minutes into that search, the body was found. And definitely, if you're going through a crisis yourself, reach out and get help. If you suspect that a friend or family member is going through a tough time mentally, please get them the help that they need.
So again, that was the sheriff within the last half hour speaking for about 15 to 20 minutes in both English and Spanish for the media that assembled here. Kind of a hastily called press conference that was supposed to begin about 5:15. And there are a number of takeaways from that. As he said, it's still too early to tell definitively if this in fact was Camila, but the body was found about a quarter mile from where the press conference was staged. And he said about a few hundred yards away from her northwest side home.
Yeah, so
he also said the body had been there for between 5 and 6 days. So that fits in the timeline that she's been missing as well. Yeah, a really sad ending. I hate when we have ones like this because it feels like there is no payoff, there is no win. It's just more sadness into the world. And in true crime, we sort of like to have that payoff, right? We either find someone, we give someone back their name, someone goes to jail, someone is found. But in this particular one, we don't get any of that. We get someone who's found, and they do get returned to their family. I guess that is the silver lining of it all, but still very sad. That family now has to go through the rest of the holiday season knowing that their daughter decided to do this on Christmas Eve. I mean, that must weigh very heavily on them. So, and you saw how many people turned out to look for her. So many, like over 100 people, turned out to try and find her. And it shows you how much she was loved, how many people like wanted to help. I think when you see that, when you see people come out in the community, it shows you how much they care. And a lot of people cared for Cami. A lot of people. There's so many people from all walks of life just wanting to help. And yeah, it's not the result any of us wanted. Now, he did a secondary press conference with WOAI, and he said a little bit more. So I want to bring that to you. By the way, if anyone was watching the WAOI press conference earlier, they had a camera set up right outside of where they found the body. Did you guys hear what the public information officer said? I heard it. The public information officer said that they had psychics calling up to give them information on where to find Cami's body. I'm not joking. That's true. That's what she said. And she said it was in the area where they found Cami. I don't know. Cops, when they spoke, said that they decided to go and check that area because of how over vegetated it is, not because of any psychics. But look, the public information officer said that in a interview they did on camera about 20 minutes ago. I don't know. You guys are going to have to tell me what you think about that. All right, here's the secondary press conference they did with WOAI.
Well, about 4:45 this afternoon, a joint team of BCSO deputies and FBI agents were conducting a line search of a field that had actually already been searched to some extent. They felt the need to go back out there again, and as they began their search, probably about 10 minutes into it, they found a body. At this point, it's too early to tell who the body is, or cause and manner of death. All of that's determined by the medical examiner, but we're going to be processing this scene. Obviously, processing it as a possible homicide, but at this point, we don't suspect foul play with what we found.
Right. We did find something there. It was a gun that was found, and you believe it was a relative. Do you know if there was any? What kind of relation was that?
Well, what we know at this point is that in the case involving Camila, we were looking for a weapon that was outstanding. It had disappeared from the home. I can tell you that at the scene where the body was found tonight, there is a weapon that's visible. It's too early to tell if this is the same weapon we were looking for, but because we haven't touched anything yet, we're waiting for the medical examiner to arrive.
And I know you.
Do you remember a couple of days ago, I told you all on this show that there was some piece of information they were keeping back from the public. And I said to you, just the way this is going, the sort of the messaging that they were giving out, it just didn't seem 100% right. And I said, I know there's a piece of information they're not giving out to us that would explain a lot of what's going on. Well, you just heard it, that there was a missing firearm, and they didn't mention anything about that until right now, and that they found that firearm near that body. And yeah, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just saying from my witnessing of this whole thing, you could tell there was something there that they were keeping back, and now we know it. We know that there was a missing firearm. So that makes a lot of sense. It explains a lot of their messaging that they put out. It explains the way they conducted this whole search for her. I think they worried that they were looking for a body the whole time. So very, very sad. I don't know if we'll ever know why she decided to do this, except there were some comments today stating that police knew that she had been depressed recently, that she also had been going through some like personal troubles, feeling very overwhelmed is the word that I would give. And I think it all painted a very sad picture about what she was sort of going through in the final, month or weeks beforehand. So, yeah, very sad. Hey, Flyer, how are you? Yeah, me too. I was hoping this would all be some sort of misunderstanding, that she'd be at a friend's home and they were sort of hiding her. Doesn't seem to be, though, unfortunately. Hey, Kathy, good to see you. Thank you for gifting the membership. I appreciate it. And yes, yes, I hope your husband has, you know, hope his surgery goes well tomorrow and fixes a lot of problems that he's been having. So yeah, lot of prayers for all right, you don't have to stay. All right, get up early and take him to the hospital for his surgery. So I hope it goes well. Hope it goes Hope you guys are home within a day or two and he's recovering, doing all good. Marjorie, hey Marjorie, how's it going, my friend? This is such a sad outcome for Camila and her family. Wishing peaceful New Year to all. Wouldn't that be nice if there was no need for this channel anymore? I think that could be our one wish for New Year's, that all crime was solved in the world so that we don't have to have channels bringing you the depravity of the world every night. So very, very, that would be good. I hope we get that wish. Penguin said, "Hey, Penguin, good to see you, my friend. Hey, thanks for that donation the other day. I'm glad you got your issues with your PayPal sorted out. That's very kind of you to be using that newfound power on me. I appreciate it very much. All right, let's play a little bit more of what Salazar has to say on Cami.
You said earlier the description of the clothing was a few times was changed, but the body that you did find did match.
The body that we did find does have athletic type wear that was described to us as one of the possible clothing descriptions that Camila was wearing.
Absolutely. And there is a chance that no surveillance footage exists.
It's quite possible. The spot where the body was found is actually not too far from Camila's actual residence, and it's quite possible if this body ends up being her, it's quite possible if she went there directly from her home, it's possible that she made it there without tripping any cameras.
And I want to talk about what she might have been going through during that time on the Christmas Eve.
Sure. Well, what we do know, and I can't go too much into detail, but what I can tell you is there were some indicators that she was going through a tough time, some depression issues. There was some concerns with suicidal ideations on her part as well. So obviously for us, we're operating with that as a prevailing theory. If this ends up being her, that it's quite possibly by her own hand. But again, we're going to process it as if it's a homicide.
And you
There you go, a little insight into it. Danny says, "Feel bad for the ex-boyfriend, poor young man." I don't think it probably doesn't help because he's so young. I think a death of this, of anyone you love, whether it's past or present, would be a devastating blow. But yeah, especially to a young person, they already got enough to deal with in their lives. The last thing they need is an ex-girlfriend dying in this way. So I hope he's going to be okay too. I don't know too much about what is going to happen with him, but I hope he's okay. That is, I think the whole family is going to need a lot of help, and they're going to need the local people to give them some space. Don't be going up to talk to them if you see them in the neighborhood, and if you do somehow get into some contact with them, just be kind, right? Be kind. Don't be overwhelming. Just be a good neighbor. Be a good neighbor. Purple Daisy said her poor mother, she even went to find her when she went on walks. Now this. Yeah, the mum, they sounded like they had a close relationship, including sleeping in the same bed often, even though they had their own rooms. So they obviously had a pretty, close bond. And the fact that maybe the mum would feel like, well, why did my daughter do this without reaching out to me for help, I think will be unfortunately something that she'll have to wrestle with for the rest of her life, most likely. It's probably a question that'll come up in her mind consistently. Um, hey, Quiet Observer, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Yeah, well, they believe it's her. No confirmation that it is her, but they believe it's her. Danny said, could co-sleeping be due to anxiety? Maybe that's where she felt like safe, at rest. A lot of people have sleeping issues, which doesn't help with the mental illness. People who don't sleep properly are more prone to mental health episodes because their body's not healing and resetting, stuff like that. So could be why she went to her mother's bed. Let's have a look. All right, I'll play a little bit more and then we'll get out of this one.
Did talk to the family as well today.
We did. We sent a team of an investigator from the sheriff's office and an FBI agent over to the residence to talk to her family and let them know what was found.
So what happens now? Are we clearing out, and where the body was found, what happens there?
There will be a crime scene search throughout the night, most likely, and we'll probably hold what we have until daylight hours tomorrow because we don't want to miss anything. Again, the tall, very tall, rough grass over there, brush that's probably eye height on myself or you. And so we're going to probably hold what we have overnight, and then we'll come out in the morning and check, resume the search.
And do you know how long the body has been there?
The body that we saw it's consistent with probably about 5 or 6 days.
Anything else you want to touch on about mental health and the mental health crisis, the hotline?
Just that you can't ever take any chances with regard to mental health, whether it's you yourself going through it or a loved one or a friend or family member. You can't take any chances. There's no shortage of numbers that you can call. You can always call the non-emergency line for the sheriff's office, 210-335-6000, or the non-emergency number for SAPD, 210-207-SAPD. You can also call in any number of national hotlines, but the key is call somebody and let them know.
Yeah. And I know you.
I think that's a good message to end his talk on. Call somebody before it gets to this point, before there's a giant search party, before we all have to do a live show based on you. Call someone and talk to them. Sometimes you can feel like there's no way out of a situation. And I can tell you, growing up in my life, the life I've had when I was younger, I had that thought many times. And I can tell you that things change. Things in life do change. Circumstances change. And what happens today may not be your future tomorrow. And, making decisions like this that are permanent, sometimes you just need someone to tell you exactly how long life is, and then two, how often things can change in a heartbeat for you. So I hope people will call the number. Yep, 988. I'm surprised he didn't mention that one. 988 is the new national one, which is a great initiative. So if you're someone out there struggling with your mental health, especially over the holidays, and you just need someone to put things into perspective for you, or you just need someone that'll listen to whatever's going on in your head, call 988. And don't be embarrassed. Don't feel ashamed. We all have our struggles in life. And that number, those people are trained to talk to people like you and me and whoever else in the chat. They're trained for it. So there's no need to feel upset or embarrassed to talk to them. That's literally the whole purpose of the hotline. So don't feel any shame or anything like that. I think that's a barrier some people struggle with mental health, but I don't believe you should feel bad about it, because you may feel better at the end of it. Isn't that better than 2 seconds of feeling strange on the phone? I think so. I think we talked about payoffs before. That payoff would be better than the 2 seconds of feeling weird when you dial the number. So I hope if there's anyone out there tonight doesn't feel great during the holidays or in general, but maybe the holidays have ramped it up for you, do ping a favor and call that number. If you do one thing tonight, you've seen the story about Cami and her family is going to have a very tough time now. Maybe you could take this step for New Year's and make a change in your life. Maybe it'll progress to somewhere cool. Maybe you'll change your thoughts on certain things. Who knows? But give that number a call. Actually, you can leave my show right now and call it if you need it. Call them right now. Do it right now for Ping. I would appreciate it. Danny says tough age for sure. I think so. Teenage years are always tough, and I think in this day and age, very different from when I was a kid. I don't think it's harder or less. I think it's just different, and I think the kids today being consistently online and always having someone, it can be a good thing and a bad thing to be connected. Maybe you have more people to talk to, but it can be the opposite if you're at a, maybe bullying or societal pressures or whatever. They're more in your face now than they were when I was a teenager. The internet when I was a teenager was very primitive. We had, what did we have? We had Alta Vista and Ask Jeeves. That's what we had. There was no Facebook. There was no Twitter. There was no YouTube. There was none of that. So, yeah, it was different when we were young. But we had a different type of problems, Same thing, just different scenario. JDR said, you think when the boyfriend or girlfriend breaks up with them, their life is over. I don't think that has changed from when I was a kid. I think that has been forever. I think that's been forever. Kids, teenagers have been doing that. So I don't think that is a changing with the generations. Marilyn said my daughter had dial-up. Yeah, I had dial-up when I first got my first computer. It was a Pentium 486 in the 90s, and I had a dial-up modem, and you had to dial into a number, and you'd hear that stupid noise, and then if someone picked up the phone, it would disconnect you. So the internet was a more difficult place to get to when I was a kid. So yeah. Oh, it didn't stop us from meeting people. We had MSN. What else did we have? MSN, the AOL one that made that yoo-hoo noise every time you got on it, and MSN Messenger, Yahoo. I don't know. There was a bunch of like chat programs that were very similar to the way people chat online today, but just direct connection to people, not like a group chat. Kelly said mine was a gateway computer, but thankfully not dial-up. That's pretty funny. MySpace wasn't around when I was young. JDR said young people's brains are not developed. We went outside and met people. That's true. That's true. It's different, just different. Not any worse or than today. I just think it was a different scenario. Different things bothered people differently because that's how their world was. So, yeah. Yeah. All right. I think. Oh wait, we might have one more we want to watch. All right, one more on Cami, just to give you the roundest picture I can. And this one's from Ken's 5. This was their little update a little earlier when I think this is directly when it happened because you can tell it's daylight outside still. All right, here we go.
Had been working. Megan, what else did the sheriff have to say?
Well, Issa's the sheriff got emotional when he described what they discovered this afternoon, actually about an hour ago behind me. This is a landscaping company called Burning Bush. This is off of FM 1560. This is just behind the neighborhood where Camila Mendoza almost lived in and where she was last seen the morning of Christmas Eve. I want to make it clear that at this point, they cannot confirm that it was her body that was found. He says it still has to go through the medical examiner, so it could be days until they have that confirmation. but he says right now it does appear that it could be her. He says that the description of the clothing that she was wearing matches the clothing that was on the body. He wouldn't discuss the injuries to the body or what the cause of death appeared to be, but he did say that there was a gun found nearby. And then he talked about how there was a gun missing from Camila's relative that they had been searching for. He says at this point they haven't been able to confirm that that is the same gun that was found here at the scene, that is the gun that was missing from her relative. There were all
Because we went on yesterday, we didn't get to do this, and this footage came out yesterday. And when it came out, I was like, "Oh my God, we're getting closer. We might be able to figure this out." And unfortunately, we did not end up doing a show last night. And by the time we came back today to do today's show, this piece of footage is now irrelevant and doesn't help us at all, unfortunately. But yeah, so if you're just joining us, 19-year-old Camilla has now, they think, been located not far from her home. I think they said like 300 feet, not very far. And they believe that they have found a weapon, a gun, next to or near the body that they located today. And they believe most likely it is her, and most likely that gun is the one that was missing from a family member. So we're gonna have to wait for the coroner and to get the report on manner and how this all happened. But it's sounding like they're pretty sure it is her, and we're just waiting for like the official confirmation. Um, they're saying here that authorities had developed information that Camila might have been experiencing some S word ideation, saying it appeared she was a young person going through a very tough time in her life. And he assured people that you should check on people. Don't take anything for granted. If you're going through a crisis yourself, reach out and get help. And yeah, like we said before, that 24-hour lifeline at 988. So he also repeated that in that press conference, 988. James said she had no regard for her safety. Well, yes, I know. Danny says we were here yesterday. Yesterday was just a really messed up day. The time to start the show ended up getting so far pushed back. I was like, I don't know if it's worth it now. And not only that, I was suffering from a cracking migraine and I was hoping it would go away. I took some painkillers and it just wasn't going away. And because the show got pushed so late, I was like, is it really worth it? By the time we get on this late, a lot of people have already gone to bed. And I was like, I'm just going to skip that day and do tomorrow. So, yeah. James said the video made me worry for her. She does look like she's on a mission in that video. Definitely looks like she's whatever she's doing, she is like full ball, very just looks like she's like straight ahead. That's what I'm doing, that's where I'm going. So yeah, I agree with you. Kelly said I have a hell of a headache right now. Yes. I feel your pain. Marlon said you pulled the plug. I did. I'm sorry I pulled the plug on you guys. I'm that type of person. You're like, I'm gonna put Ping as my like DOA person. I'd be like, just pull the plug because I did it yesterday. Kim said we were just chatting. I should have left it open for you guys to hang out. Hi, yeah, that is interesting. She took her driver's license. That's really sad when you look at it now that she took her ID so she could be identified. That's really sad. That's really sad. That's sort of like when we have a natural disaster and people get a Sharpie and they write on their arm and they like put their like date of birth, their name, and their social security number in Sharpie on their arm. It's sort of like that. It's yeah, it's really sad. That's not nice. Because that's probably what it was for. It was probably so when they did locate her, they could ID her instantly, being that that was like the only thing she had on her, that and her car keys. That's awful. It really is. So I will bring you more information when I have it. It sounds like that's probably all. I'll just double check. I think that's all we're going to get for tonight. Yeah, it sounds like that's probably what we're going to get. Yeah, it sounds like that's most of the information. We're not expecting another press conference today. And I would suggest the next time we get anything will be an official ID of her body. So maybe in the next few days, something like that, we'll get more. Okay, on the last show we did, I brought you a crime out of New South Wales in Sydney in Australia. And it was what was sort of themed at the time as a love triangle gone wrong, or a woman and her new partner were killed by the woman's ex boyfriend. Well, in the last 48 hours since I saw you, there has been some information that's come forward about it. And this is why sometimes early reporting can be not the greatest to rely on for fact. So I'll break it down for you. It wasn't a love triangle. This woman did break up with her partner, and he is the one who killed the woman and the man. The man is just a friend of the woman's. He has a wife and children in Fiji, and they are just big family members. Like, they're like good friends, and she considers him like a little brother. And while he's in Australia away from his family, they take care of each other because that's what they do in the Islander community. They sort of act as one big family. So that guy is not her partner, not her new boyfriend, nothing like that. He's just like a brother to her. And unfortunately, this ex guy, this ex partner, has taken it the wrong way and basically broken into their home and murdered two people. I'm going to play you an update, but then I'm going to show you some corrections to the update.
A young couple has been killed in an alleged double murder at Quakers Hill. A woman stabbed multiple times before her partner was then attacked on the street. Tonight, her former partner is in custody.
5 a.m. and the alarm is raised. Police and paramedics descend on a home on Illaboo Street at Quakers Hill. Inside, 38-year-old Anasani Vakavuki stabbed in the kitchen, allegedly at the hands of her former partner.
The lady screamed 4 times, just a wordless scream of fear, just afraid. You could definitely hear the fear in her voice.
Outside, a man, Anasani's current partner, on the footpath, also left with multiple stab wounds to his hands and stomach. Neighbours rushed to his side and called police.
The male was conveyed to Liverpool Hospital, where unfortunately he was, despite the efforts of medical staff, he was pronounced deceased at 9 a.m. this morning.
2 killed in an alleged double murder.
What was the relationship between the man, woman and the person in custody?
So we're still early in our investigations. We believe that the deceased female and the deceased male were in a relationship. The male that's in custody was previously in a relationship with the female.
They seemed to be happy. She was always laughing, and yeah, so they seemed just like a normal, happily family.
Police say the attack took place just before 5 a.m. The 47-year-old alleged killer fled, dumping a knife at a petrol station on Richmond Road at Woodcroft. By 5:30 this morning, he'd handed himself in to Blacktown Police Station.
At this stage, he is cooperating with police. Obviously, a very traumatic incident, traumatic for my police and ambulance officers. And again, my condolences go out to the families of the deceased.
All right. This was very early on in the reporting cycle for it. And I'm going to try pronounce these people's name. And I feel really bad because I can't do it, but I will try. But they're saying here, heartbroken friends have lifted the lid on the tragic real story behind the 2 alleged victims of a so-called love triangle that ended in a double murder. They're saying a man and a woman were stabbed to death by the former partner, and I'm going to try to pronounce his name. Is it Inare? And that was at the home in Quakers Hill. But they're saying it's now been revealed that the woman's new boyfriend who died alongside her was just a happily married mate with a wife of his own back in Fiji, and not in a romantic relationship with his close friend. So they're saying that here's a photo. This is the ex-boyfriend here. If I'm getting the names, hold on, let me double check. No, sorry. This is the wait. Yes. This is the young lady here. This is her good friend, not the ex-boyfriend. The ex-boyfriend is this fella here, Epi, or Epi. This is him here. This is a fellow accused of killing the other two. And from what the friends are saying in the community, they were just good friends. They are not in some sort of love triangle and something like that. I just don't know why. New South Wales police on Sunday said they believed the two alleged victims were in a relationship and that the man who was arrested was the ex-boyfriend. I wonder if that information is coming from the attacker. He's the only one left to tell the story, right? He's the only one left to tell anything to the police. So I wonder if he's been telling police that these two were in a romantic relationship, and that's why they've come out with, oh, it's a love triangle, and this guy went and attacked his former partner and her new partner. I just wonder because, yeah, where else are they getting information from? But they're saying here, yeah, not new boyfriend, just a happily married friend, and that she was sort of looking after him as a sister. You know, he's from Fiji, has family there, he's away from his home country, and that, you know, the islander community are like, they take care of each other. And she was just taking care of a friend. So there you go. Danny says, like OJ. I don't know. Yeah, that's if you're willing to murder over that, you're pretty nuts. I agree. I want to see if there is a better version of this that we can get to. But either way, a very sad story. Why he felt the need to break into his ex-girlfriend's home at 4 a.m. in the morning and attack her and him to the point where he actually got outside trying to fight him off and died on the footpath basically outside the home. Let me see if we can get a better version of this with the updated information. There's got to be, right? Got to be. Let's have a look. Because I find that it's a bit irresponsible in the reporting, right? Yeah, see, this is strange. Look at this. I'll take you to Channel 9. This was only 24 hours ago.
A flourishing romance cut tragically short. The young couple, stabbed to death in an alleged DV murder at Quakers Hill, is tonight being remembered for their joy. The female victim's former partner today fronted court and will remain behind bars.
Anasani Wakavuki and Epineri Naitini in a new relationship and now victims of our state's latest alleged domestic violence murder. It was 5 o'clock yesterday morning at Anasani's Ilabo Street home when police allege her former partner, Inari Vunitabua, launched a stabbing rampage, killing them both. New pictures tonight showing Epineri's last moments as he arrived to the home in an Uber. Then, just hours later, the alleged killer rolls in a taxi. Anasani allegedly killed in her kitchen, Epineri stabbed on the footpath outside and died in hospital. The alleged killer, Inari Vunitabua, is now facing 2 counts of murder. He'll remain behind bars until he fronts court in February. Anasani was a mother, a sister, and a woman of faith. Those who knew her best remembering her for her beautiful smile and the sound of her bubbly, happy laugh.
It's just like a beautiful ray of sunshine. She had the most amazing smile. She's definitely not just a number. She's a name. She's a beautiful person. She's a mother. She has 3 gorgeous children back in Fiji.
The couple, both of Fijian background, their death rocking the community. Today, we are standing together in shock and sadness. R.I.P. Nada and Epi. Nasilia Eiley.
So there you go. Mixed reporting. The one saying they're not a couple. This one saying that they're a newly found romance. Evelyn says, "Are you her dad? I am your dad. I'm your dad. That's what I am." Gayla said they do look after each other. We had loads of Fijians in the regiment. You become a family. I agree. Danny says no one has a car. I don't know. I saw cars parked outside their property. You can see it here. Where is it in that video? There's vehicles. I mean, I don't know. There's what looks like a tow truck out the front too. Laurie says, "Hey all, hey Laurie, how are you?" So there you go. I don't know what to tell you. There's reporting from either side of the friendship group. Then one saying that they are together. One saying that these two are not together. I don't know what to tell you except for there's mixed reporting coming out about it. How old were they? Evelyn, how old were they? Believe they're in there. The guy, Epi, the one who murdered the two of them, he was 30. The Nessie, he was 38. Anari was 47. So they're a little older than the ex-boyfriend. The ex-boyfriend was in his 30s. These other two were the guy that was killed, 38, and Anari was 47. So there's a run of ages from like early 30s to almost 50. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but that's what the ages were. Yeah, 37. No. 38 is Anasani, and Anari's 47. Yeah, I'll put it in the chat so people can follow along. These two were the ones that were found at the house with the stab wounds. There you go. The guy who's arrested, Epi, he's 30. So there you go. He's been charged. He's currently behind bars. He will be arraigned at at some point. I don't have a court date for him at the moment. Let me double check. I don't think we have a court day. Yeah, he's due to face Downing Centre local court on February 26th, so quite a while. He's got a bit of a big gap between when he's going to actually get to his next hearing. They say he did have an initial hearing on Monday, did not apply for bail, did not appear in court via video link, and then his case was adjourned to late Feb. So it's going to be a while before we see these pop up in court, unfortunately. Good to see you, Evelyn. Good to see you. You can't trust a cab driver? I don't know. Let me see. Rachel said the reporting is strange. I agree. I don't really understand why we're getting two sides of this story. You would think that they would come out with like a united sort of front. New South Wales police saying they believe the two alleged victims were in a relationship and the man who's been arrested is the ex-partner. So I don't know. Like in this case, I'll go with the New South Wales police, I guess, until they change whatever they're going to say about it. And I'll just say that that's the story for now. But you know what they say about the Daily Mail. So I'm going to leave it at that. You can't trust. I don't know why. Cab drivers in this country, mostly okay. Not all of them, but most of them are okay people. I've had some good cab drivers. I've had some bad cab drivers. I've had some ones that have been arrested. I think I've told this story before where we had a cab driver who ended up being arrested for essaying a passenger. Not us, but another girl a couple of weeks after we noticed strange behavior in the cab. Actually, do you want me to tell this story while I load up the next one? So a number of years ago, about 10 years ago, we lived in a different home. And every time we didn't have a car back then, and we used to call a cab quite frequently to get around. And this guy, every time we called the cab, it was the same guy that pulled up every single time, and he would appear from like nowhere. I'd call for a cab. 2 minutes later, he was in my driveway, and he had said some creepy comments to Mrs. Ping several times. Right? Remember that cab driver that used to say creepy things in the car? Yeah, and yeah, yeah. Well, he would do weird stuff. He would eye you off in the back seat and touch his pineapple and things like this. And after a while, we made a complaint to the cab company, and we said like he's exhibiting some creepy behavior. He keeps showing up when we call a cab. Like, I mean, some people would be like, "That's good business," but it was strange the way it would happen, and no other cab driver would ever turn up to our property. Anyway, we never saw him again. And like 9 months later, we learned that he had been arrested for following a girl inside of her home late at night and essaying her in her own home after driving her home one night. He's now in jail. He's now in jail. And yeah, so it's a story to be careful of your surroundings. And if you see something odd, or report it. I mean, I don't know if our report ever did anything, but you never know. Hey, Burger Sleuth. All right. I'll read your comment, Burger Sleuth. I like burgers, so I'll read your comment. Burger Sleuth says, Jesus is the truth. Hell is real. We all sin. He died on the cross to pay for our sins and was buried and rose again the third day. Put your faith in him alone to save you. Trust in what he did for you. Thank you for reminding us. I appreciate it. It's very kind. Very kind of you to write that. What? Danny said, New South Wales, Americans be not safe for work. I don't know if you're safe in New South Wales either, buddy. Gayla said, spat my Dr. Pepper when you said not us. Okay. I mean, sure. Okay, I want to take you to San Antonio, back to Bexar County. I feel like we just left Bexar County with Cami's story, but we have more stories out of the area, and I think they're sort of coming from all of this basically. Hold on. I said I would load it while I was talking, and apparently I didn't. But Ping is his success rate on showing you missing people that end up winding up found is getting better, and I'll show you why. There was a young woman that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, and now she's been found safe. Found safe, 14-year-old Sophia Gabriela Peters Cobos, last seen on Monday, but they're saying she has now been located. And they're saying Bexar County Sheriff's Office has reported that Sophia has been found safe and has been reunited with her family. She was last seen last Monday. Last Monday? I'm going to say yes. Or on Monday. Yeah, reported missing December 26 is when she was reported. Wait, this one? Yep. So she was reported missing on Monday, sorry. But she's been located. I am happy anytime we can talk about a missing person and then is found located. My streak is alive. So Sophia found, she's fine. And we have one more. Can we go for 3 in 1 week that have been found safe? Because I would hope so. The other one is 17-year-old Angelique Johnson. Let me see if I am going to get a third one tonight. Seems like she is still missing. So we've had 3. We've had Cami, we've had Sophia, and we've had Angelique. Got 2 done. Unfortunately, Cami, we believe, has been found deceased. The other one, Sophia, on the front here, she's been reunited with her family. And the one on the end here, Angelique, is 17-year-old, still missing, unfortunately, out of all around the same county, Bear County. So we need one more to sort of finish off this unfortunate set of 3 young people who went missing all around the same time. So I am hoping if we can get a bit more on Angelique for you. Yeah. So she's 17 years old, and they're asking for the public's help in finding her from the northwest side of San Antonio. She was reported missing last week after being seen in the 130 block of Exeter Place Drive near Portranco Road. Angelique is believed to still have her cell phone, but deputies have not been able to ping its location. She's 5'10", weighs approximately 198 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. And they're saying anyone with information about Angelique is urged to contact the Bear County Sheriff's Office at 210-335-6000. So we got one more to go. Hopefully we can get another person home with their family for the new year. I hope so. Texas said, any news about the young lady in Houston who left her car? The young lady in Houston who left her car. Oh, yeah, we talked about it before. Her body, they believe, has been found. We covered it at the start of the show. They believe it's been found. And yeah. Andrew said, I thought you were saying not for safe for work. I thought he meant like New South Wales. Oh, yeah. All right. So there you go. One, unfortunately, a body found. One has been reunited with family, and we have one outstanding. One more. Angelique, can we do it before New Year's? I will hope so. I'm just trying to see if we can get any more information on her. I think that's all we have. Yeah, that's all we have on that one, unfortunately. I'll put her photo up on the screen so we can see it better. There we go. But they're saying she was. I'm interested in the fact that they found her, or they know that she has her cell phone, but they've not been able to get a last location for it. Normally, they can. If the cell phone is on and working, they can ping the tower and get like a last known connecting point. Interesting that they haven't been able to do that. And does that mean it's been turned off? Does that mean it's not actually working right now? So that's a concern if it's not working and they've not been able to get any info from it. Callie Gal says News Nation says she has been contacted. They contacted her now? Maybe we will get maybe our streak will be alive. Let me see. Hold on. It's not showing up for me, unfortunately. Like, I already searched out these stories before we did the night. Why is it not showing up? It might be on their Facebook page, maybe. Because I always search these missing people before I come on here. Let me see if it's on here. Uh-huh.
17-year-old Angelique Johnson. And Sheriff Salazar says she is willfully gone from home and has assured a return in a few days.
Okay. Assured a return. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but Sheriff Salazar said she's basically gone for the holidays and she's going to come back later. So there we go. Posted 1 hour ago. Then we started the show about an hour ago, so we would have missed it as we came on air. I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me know. That means she will return home. So I'm going to take that. As long as she ends up going back to her family, I'm going to take that as our streak is alive of missing people being found mostly alive for when Ping does a story on them. Well, that's good news. At least they have finally been able to get in contact with her. She's voluntarily missing. I mean, can you be voluntarily missing at 17 and that be okay? I guess. I thought you would have to be 18 to be voluntarily, like, because you're an adult, you can leave. Okay, well, as long as her family is okay with that, then good news. I'm going to take it as good news. Okay, there we go. Well, look, you never want to play the odds games with missing people, and it's very sad about what happened to Cami. But at least a couple of them we've been able to get back in contact with their families or make sure they're alive. So that is good news. We have one more from Texas. Someone just emailed me saying there's a young girl, 15, missing in Texas, but it's an Amber Alert. Okay. I'm just looking it up now. Amber Alert issued for a 15-year-old girl last seen in Plains, but there's also a guy. They're missing from Yoakum County. All right, let me see if I can get this working for you. So it's this young girl. This young girl, she's 15. Last seen in is I hope I'm pronouncing it's Yoakum County. And Mayuri Yolani Gomez Marquez was last seen at 8 a.m. on Sunday in Plains. She was last seen with the 41-year-old Juan Orlando Garcia, who is considered wanted. I don't know why Juan is considered wanted, but that's him there. They're saying Marquez is a Hispanic with brown hair, brown eyes. She's listed as 5'1", weighs 125 pounds. And they're saying that Juan is Hispanic with black hair, brown eyes, 5'9", weighs 188 pounds. DPS is also looking for a black 2010 Ford F-150 with a Texas license plate of WGV 9997. So they're looking for a truck and out of that county. All right, let's see if we can find anything. Okay, where is Plains close to? Where is Plains? So this is only in the last couple of hours is what they're saying, that this Amber Alert's gone public. Yeah, they're not giving us any information on the girl's relationship to the guy. I'm just trying to see, do they have the same last name? No, right? No. So his last name is Ceremado and her last name is Marquez. So different last names. Here's her Amber Alert page on the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And that is their post on there about them. So if you see them, call it into the authorities, especially that license plate, WGV 9997. That's pretty recognizable because of the multiple of the same number, WGV 9997. And it's a Texas tag on a Ford F-150. So if you're driving around Texas and you see it, let me know. Well, not let me know, let the authorities know. That's the license plate down there. Hey, Cali girl, good to see you, my friend. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Texas and missing young people. There's a lot of them. A lot of young people, unfortunately. But there's the number. Hey, DJ. What's up, brother? Good to see you. All right. We've had a lot of missing people tonight. Some good results, some bad results, unfortunately. What else do we have? Okay. Another missing person. Why? Why have we got so many missing people? Do you remember I brought you a story? I keep saying that tonight. About another missing girl in Houston. called Sydney Marquez. Do you remember that? And they believe that she might have been suffering from a mental illness type thing. Well, we've got some new CCTV available for her. That's the one that someone was asking about in Houston. This one is in Houston, in Texas. So I'm going to take you out to Houston KHO11, and we're going to watch the new surveillance footage, and then I'll give you a recap of what's going on with Sydney.
Now, Houston police are still searching for 24-year-old Sydney Marquez, who vanished more than a week ago in Southwest Houston.
Yeah, new surveillance video is now helping investigators piece together her last known moments and movements, Devon Roming joins us live from Asiatown. And Devon, what's more about what's learning about this investigation can you share with us?
Hey, good morning, ladies. So sadly, it's been 11 days since Sydney Marquez was last seen in this area of Asiatown here along this intersection of Ranchester Drive and Bel Air Boulevard. She was seen on surveillance video. And this morning, Sydney's family and volunteers with Texas EquiSurge will be back out here in Southwest Houston searching as new video from this area is offering new leads in the investigation. Now, take a look at your screen. This is newly released surveillance video from over the weekend of Sydney, who was seen walking down the sidewalk outside this shopping center northbound on Ranchester near Bel Air Boulevard on the night of December 11th. And investigators say it appears she was not in any sort of distress. Her father, Raul, says she was in town from El Paso visiting a friend, and he, along with search teams, have been canvassing here in Southwest Houston looking for any other evidence that could help track her movements.
They're saying that they see a young lady that's distraught, walking in circles, keeping to herself. They've offered her blankets. Sydney, it's Christmas, babe. Let's go home and open some gifts. I love you. Can't wait to hug you.
You know, it's very disturbing. So I'll tell you the story of what happened. She had gone down to the area to hang out with a friend. Then she took their car, dumped their car in the middle of a road, and just left the vehicle. Hopped on a bus and disappeared. And it's been quite a while now, a couple of weeks since she's been missing. And now we've got this new surveillance footage of her. I'll take you back to it. There's her walking down the road. This is the one that we were talking. This is just after, I believe, that she left the vehicle. And this is the road. We looked at it on the map the other week. I'll take you back there in a minute. So is this her dumping the car? No, it's just her walking. And there you go. I don't know why she would do this, but I understand her father's sort of distress. Look, there she is. That's a good close-up of her. She's got her head down, her hood on her over her head, and her sunglasses on, like she's, trying to look down and not draw attention maybe. But I agree with her dad. I hope she can go home and open some presents with her family. It is said that she does suffer with mental illness, and they're saying she might have been wearing a blanket when she boarded the bus. So, and it's cold out. It's very cold. I hope they find her. I don't know exactly what would spark her to walk around Houston for 2 weeks. It's not like it's been overnight. It's not like it's been a couple of days. She's been out there wandering around for 2 weeks. Actually, longer than that now, almost 3 weeks. Just walking around Houston. Yeah, she does suffer from mental illness. Yeah, Sydney. Yeah, so they're saying that they later found, so the vehicle that she had, the friend's vehicle, that she left items behind in the vehicle, including her phone and iPad, plus other items of hers in the car, and that She was last seen on surveillance video walking near a hotel where she was staying and where her friends were waiting for her arrival, but she never arrived. She was last observed via coffee shop surveillance footage in southwest Houston along Harwin Drive. That's the video you guys see in front of us. I'm sure that's a coffee shop. This would be, I would think so. Right here, I would say that is a coffee place right here. And then since this point, they don't know what happened to her. And that was on the December 12th. December 12th. We've gone through Christmas already. We're about to go through New Year's, and still no one has picked up where she is. There's got to be someone, like, she doesn't have a change of clothes, so she'd have to be wearing the same tracksuit pants and jacket. So someone must see her around Houston. That's what I think. I think someone has to have in 2.5 weeks. They have to have seen her. All right.
Can't wait to hug you.
Yeah, family members say Marquez recently graduated from Texas A&M University with a neuroscience degree and that she suffers from mental illness and was off her medication when she disappeared. Investigators also say her car was actually found abandoned and running in a parking lot here near the intersection where she was last seen walking away on surveillance video. Of course, police with the Houston Police Department are asking anyone with information that may know where Sydney could be or any information from witnesses that may have been out here the night that she disappeared. They're asking you to call the Houston Police Department or Crime Stoppers. For now, reporting live in Southwest Houston, Devon Raming, KHOU 11 News.
So a very clever girl, neuroscience degree from university. That's not an easy course to pass. Very clever young lady, and sounds like she needs a bit of help right now. Sounds like she just needs a bit of someone to give her a hand, and I hope this will also be a successful return to her family. They believe she's still out there somewhere walking around this area in Houston. By the way, they said in this video that it's her car. In another one we read, it said it was a friend's car. So I don't know, but it's a car. Diane said, I thought they said the car was left in the middle of the road. Yeah, I know. The story gets changed. Or they said that she left the car in a car park. Then another one said it left it on the road. But I'll go with what they said originally, and that it was left in a car park. But it was unlocked, basically just left there. Like she wanted it to get stolen, or she's not thinking right. But she left valuables in the car, including her mobile phone and an iPad. I don't think that's something you leave alone in a car in Houston. I think someone would smash that window in a couple of minutes and take it. So, not a good area. It's near Chinatown. I remember that. It's not far from Chinatown. So apparently Texas EquiSearch has a page about her. What are they saying about her? Sydney Marquez. She has a 4-leaf clover tattoo on her wrist. That might help someone identify her. She was last seen in the 9100 block of Bel Air Boulevard in Houston, Texas, which is near Chinatown. And that she was last seen wearing gray pants, gray hoodie, and tennis shoes, like we see in the video. Sydney suffers from mental illness. They're saying if you see her or know anything about where she might be, contact 832-394-1840, or you can contact Texas EquiSearch at 281-309-9500. So if you know anything about her, and I mean, it's a good time to talk about this one because we just had the Cami case come to a very sad resolution, but we've still got more people to look for, including Sydney. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed she's still out there somewhere. And let me see if I can find a full video of that surveillance one. Okay. Is it this one? All right.
Who took a trip to Houston. Sydney Marquez hasn't been seen since Thursday, December 11th. She's from El Paso, but was visiting her friends in Houston. Sydney's father got a call from those friends saying they couldn't find her. What they did find was her abandoned car in a tire shop parking lot. Surveillance cameras caught her walking through that parking lot, then going down the sidewalk. Sydney's dad is hoping someone can offer clues about her disappearance.
Witnesses are saying that they see a young lady that's distraught, walking in circles, keeping to herself. They've offered her blankets. Sydney, it's Christmas, babe. Let's go home and open some gifts. I love you. Can't wait to hug you.
Sydney's last known location was at a bus stop. Investigators are now working to get a hold of footage from that bus.
I don't think we ever saw the footage from the bus. I know they've been trying to get it for a couple of weeks, and I know detectives they went to the bus. They were unable to get it back up at one point, but they manually got to the hard drive and were able to get the footage of her on the bus. But so far, I don't think that the public has seen it. I don't think so far that we've been able to get a copy of it. I don't know what it shows. Maybe just her sitting on a bus. But so far, I don't think I've seen that particular one. Yeah, let me bring up this screenshot of her. And I think it shows. Look, this is a girl that probably everyone knows, like in her family. Very sweet looking young lady. And this person in the footage to the left, this looks like someone who's, trying to keep a low profile. Doesn't look like they're having maybe the greatest day. With their head down, looking towards the ground like that, almost like no confidence. Like she's walking like huddled down. It's not a good look, especially for someone suffering from some mental illness problems. I think everyone would like the girl on the right, to come back to her family. So it's very sad. But if we take anything from the Cami one, it's like we've got to try get these people back to their families. And her family's saying they don't know where she went after getting on that bus. So yeah, so her family says every indication shows that she was headed back to her hotel. Her phone's there, her iPad's there, her class ring is there, her clothing is there. There is just no explanation why she didn't make it back to the hotel. They're saying the police are working around the clock to try and figure out where she might be. It's strange she hasn't been picked up by the cops either, walking around late at night in Houston. Like, I think they'd all be looking for her. And it's interesting that no overnight cop has sort of picked up a young girl walking around in a white tracksuit. Raul, who's her dad, said she was trying to. Oh, sorry. Is that her parents? Yeah. Video showed Sydney Marquez near hotel. Yeah. Raul said they recently learned of new footage showing his daughter just 150 yards from the hotel where they were staying. He says she was trying to get to our hotel, but for some reason or another, she kept going westbound on Harwin. That's the last footage we have. Her father said he's hoping the Starbucks near the hotel can share footage from when she crossed the flyway to help determine where she was going. So that was only a day ago that her dad was talking about it. Yeah, very pretty young lady, very pretty. Very clever too. Like her degree is amazing. Very, very turned on girl. And I think it shows you the sort of balance between people, right? Obviously very, very smart, was able to graduate from university in a very complex field. And then a few weeks later, you see her at the center of a missing person investigation where people are trying to track down someone not having a great time. someone obviously having a bit of a mental break, and they're trying to find her. There's another photo of Sydney, and I know her family are just desperate to get her home. So, yeah, one more photo because she has a lot of photos. There you go. There's another photo of Sydney with like shorter hair. So if you see this girl walking around anywhere, um, yeah, I hope you find her. Kim said that means something else here, Ping. What does? You're gonna have to be more specific. I say a lot of things. What means something else here? They're gonna have to be more specific about what I said wrong. By the way, I'll take a break just for a minute. We have to get off the air in about 20 minutes. I want to thank Mel. Mel, thank you so much for the donation. It's so kind of you. Let me see. Did you leave a message? You did. Mel says, Happy New Year, Ping, Mrs. Ping, Rory, and Muffin. Mel, thank you so much for supporting the channel. It's people like you that allow me to cover these stories week in and week out. We do multiple shows almost every day, sometimes twice a day. And I want to thank Marjorie as well. Marjorie, thank you so much for supporting the channel. I get it. It's everyone's cost of living has gone through the roof, including for us creators too. So I appreciate it. It's very, very kind. And you're very, very sweet. It's very kind of you all. Both you. I'm trying to find out what I said wrong. All right. You guys are gonna have to tell me. Means the same here? Why? What did I say? I'm so confused now. Lisa said getting her degree might have contributed to mental health issues. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to have to get something like that. I'm sure it would have been a lot of study time and things like that. Let's see. I'm waiting on Kim to tell me what it is. What? I don't understand how that's something bad. I don't understand. Like she's switched on. Like she's clever. I don't know how it's yeah. It's only dirty if you guys want to make it dirty. I said it in a nice way. We're talking about how she's very clever in her education, and she's obviously very smart. I don't see that as being a strange thing to say. Switched on is okay. Well, words have multiple meanings, I guess. Mrs. Ping is like frowning at you all because she doesn't get it either. No, I know. She she doesn't get it either. Yeah, I know, right? Kim, always in the gutter with your thinking, Kim. Like, what are we going to do with you? You have to turn everything I say into something dirty. I mean, what are we going to do with you, Kim? We're gonna have to take you. Gonna have to take you to the glue factory. Gonna take you to the glue factory. I mean, that's what we're gonna do. I'll make a booking tomorrow at the glue factory. Lindy said, "Such dirty minds." I know, right? Always. I mean, this is not only Friends. This is missing people and true crime. Not only Friends. Okay. All right. Let's move past that. So I think that's why is there so many missing people in Texas at the moment? So we've had 4. Angelique, Sophia, Cami, and Sydney. At least 3 of them are going to come to a resolution. 2 of them are coming to a decent resolution. 1 has been reunited. 1 is apparently going home in a few days. And the one with Cami unfortunately came to a very sad resolution. The one with Sydney, we'll have to wait and see. But I hope, like the rest of you, that it will resolve with her going home to her family. Sounds like her dad is really desperate to get her home, and I would think they haven't. I don't want to talk really negative, but they haven't found any bodies in Houston in 3 weeks. And if there was a dead woman lying somewhere in Houston, they probably would find it. They haven't found a dead girl. It tells me that she's probably alive, most likely. She hasn't turned up in a bayou. She hasn't turned up in the water. I'm going to take the positivity here and say that she's still walking around Houston for some reason. Why? I can't tell you. I can't tell you. Touch wood. My desk is made of wood. Here you go. I touch the wood so that I think she's going to be, hopefully, she's going to go home to her family. And then we have the Amber Alert out of Texas as well. Busy day for Texas. And that is Mary Yuri Yolani Gomez Marquez. And she was seen with Juan Orlando Garcia Sarmiento. And he's in the black Ford F-150. So we've got a bunch of cases all juggling in the air in Texas. It's been a very Texas-centered show tonight. Mimi said, my mind's usually in the gutter and I was confused. See, it's not just me. It's just those dirty women in the chat. Always with the naughty thinking. All right, do we have one more to end the show? I wonder. All right. Let's go to Florida. This one might be interesting. All right, I'm going to take you to News 12 in Florida.
And tonight, a West Palm Beach woman in her 60s is behind bars, accused of killing her elderly mother. Palm Beach County deputies say they found a woman in her 90s, identified as Patricia Blake, dead in her home Friday on Ashley Drive in West Palm Beach. Deputies took her for an autopsy where they found injuries inconsistent with natural causes into a homicide. And deputies later went back to the home and interviewed Blake's daughter, 66-year-old Martha Jo Blake, where detectives allegedly found her involved in the murder. She's being held at the Palm Beach County Jail without bond. And tonight, a West Palm Beach woman in her 60s is behind bars, accused of killing her elderly mother. Palm Beach County deputies say they found a woman in her 90s, identified as Patricia Blake.
All right. This is not the first time I've heard of a story like this, okay? And they're saying that an autopsy led Palm Beach County detectives to arrest a 66-year-old woman on Saturday for the murder of her elderly mother. They're saying deputies with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office responded to the 2800 block of Ashley Drive West in West Palm Beach on Friday for a murder investigation. Upon arrival, deputies say they located Patricia Blake deceased. They transported her body to the Palm Beach County Medical Center for an autopsy, and then the autopsy ruled the death a homicide, finding it inconsistent with natural causes. They then returned to the home, interviewed her daughter, Martha Jo Blake, and they allege that she is involved in killing her mother. She's currently in jail in Palm Beach County, booked on counts of first-degree premeditated murder. Premeditated. So she has decided that her mum is too much of a hassle and decided to take her life. They're saying that the mum died of suffocation or strangulation, and the autopsy found that she had a neck fracture, internal hemorrhaging on both sides of the neck, indicating that her neck was constricted. They're also saying here that according to this, oh my God, yeah, hold on. Sorry about that. Bloody Amazon. Amazon delivering on New Year's Eve. Okay. So they found all those injuries to the woman, but the daughter claims that she's the mother's caregiver and that this is what her 97-year-old mother wanted. She's saying that it was an agreement between her mother and her to end her life, and that it is a assisted S word, and that she said this is done out of love, not murder. So you guys tell me what you think. Marilyn said 97. Yeah, 97. Definitely 97. Danny said today the news was saying possible. Yeah, first time to hear that. What? I don't think they were saying that there's a possible serial killer. I think what they're saying is that people are saying that like there's a rumor of that. We've covered it a bunch about the Houston Bayous. Danny said, "Dear, that horrible person took care of my mom for 6 years with dementia. It's tough, but never a hassle with people." Well, this daughter has taken that final sort of step with her mom. She's saying, so she told investigators that her mom wanted to die because of health issues and had previously discussed the matter with her primary care physician in Maine, where a company called Death with Dignity is legal. It is not in Florida. They're saying the mother was ineligible for Maine's medical aid in the dying program because of her illnesses. While difficult and debilitating, her illnesses were not terminal. So Blake said she and her mother discussed other options and that they determined that those other options were not suitable. So the daughter took it into her own hands and decided to do this. No, well, she was being cared for by the daughter in the home. Danny said, no, wrong. Mum never asked that. I don't know. What if they could find proof from the doctors in Maine that they actually did talk about this with a doctor? What then? I mean, they could put together a defense. Yeah, like they could if they really did talk to this doctor before they moved to Florida. And there's a primary care physician in Maine that they tried to apply for that health thing in Maine to do it for them. I don't know. She could put up a pretty good defense. Not saying that what she did was right. I'm just saying I think maybe you could put up a defense for it. Lindy said, still you can't do that. No way legal. Apparently in Maine it is. Apparently in if you live in Maine, there is a program you can apply for to do that. And they're saying that they tried to apply for the program for the mum. I don't know, guys. They will need to. This will need more investigation, but they already charged the daughter with first-degree homicide, premeditated too. Not to suffocate someone. Why, do you get a choice? I want to be killed with a pizza. Suffocate my face with pepperoni. I want it to be spicy. Is that what you have to do? Marjorie said it's legal. It is in some countries. We told you about a story a year ago in Europe where these people made a machine that does it. All you have to do is press a button. And they were saying that it was like the first time they'd ever used it on a human. And they believed that maybe they killed the woman because the actual machine didn't work correctly. And that they did it to like make it seem like their machine worked properly. So that's a very tricky story too. Yeah, it wasn't Amsterdam. It was they weren't able to do it in Amsterdam because of they were too well known or something in Amsterdam, so they had to go to like Sweden or something, Switzerland. But they're originally based in Amsterdam, but they had to move because they were in a lot of trouble. Marjorie said it's legal in NJ also, at least in the that's the thing. So the mum's illness was not terminal. Debilitating, very painful, yes, but they were not terminal. That's why she did not get into that program. She was considered ineligible. So that's part of it. Yeah, I'm going to take you to another bit. We've got a tiny bit of time here. We'll play this quickly.
And tonight, a West Palm Beach woman in her 60s is behind bars, accused of killing her elderly mother. Palm Beach County deputies say they found a woman in her 90s.
Same video. That's right. We don't have to do it. We can continue this discussion. So Ping is going to be back tonight. Tonight is New Year's Eve for Australia. I'm going to be back in your morning time. I'm going to come back in your morning time. We're going to hang out and I'm going to bring in the new year in Australia with you guys. It'll be very early morning for you, about 6 or 7 a.m. But we're going to do that. And then the next day, tomorrow, you're going to bring in the new year with me. We're going to hang out and bring in the USA New Year from East Coast to West Coast. We're going to do East to West, and we're going to do the whole way from New York, and we're going to go to places like Florida and Texas, and we're going to go to Idaho and watch the potato drop, and then we're going to go to like California and Arizona. So we're going to do heaps of stuff tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. Party with Mrs. P. We're not going to party. We're too old for that. We're too old. Laura T, yep, we're going to party tonight for the Australian New Year's Eve. Come back then, hang out with me. We'll talk true crime, and we'll bring in the new year together. Hey, I want to thank those two people. I want to thank Mel for the donation. Same with Marjorie. Without those donations from people coming in, this channel would not be here. Not to say that it's solely monetary based, but it takes a lot of time to devote your life basically to the channel. So I appreciate it a lot. And those people help keep the channel going year in and year out. People like, there's other people. Moonlight View has been amazing over the years. Lisa, there's Laura T, Mel and Marjorie, all sorts of people. Lovely people who help with this channel, and I appreciate it. All right. I will see you tonight for New Year's Eve. Love you all. See you then. Have fun at Web Sleuths. Bye.